Okay, it's been a hot minute since Riot put more Blood Moon skins in the Blood Moon skin line. Like, the last thing they did, I think, was Snow Moon, where it was like, these are the anti-Blood, like, the opposite faction of Blood Moon who are trying to stop the Blood Moon from doing stuff. And I've been kind of happy that they haven't been stuffing more skins into the line, because the line was already kind of overstuffed, right? Like, it's a skin line that sort of has the same problem as Project, which is that they just keep fucking shoving more champions in there, and with flimsier and flimsier ideas for what this champion's concept is going to be in the cyberpunk world, and it's just like, they hard light sci-fi weapon, and they have a thing on a suit of cyber stuff. Like, it becomes so vague, and it's just like, yeah, clearly this is just about putting the champion in the costume because the costume is popular, and it's not really, there isn't really a strong visual idea there. So I'm glad that they slowed down on Blood Moon, and now they've come back with 3 new skins for Zyra, Fiddlesticks, and finally, like, Zed, who was sort of halfway towards being a Blood Moon character already. Now, we have the splash arts for Zyra and for Fiddlesticks. We don't have the one for Zed yet, so, you know, have to make do without it. But let's take a look at Zyra to start with. So, according to Spider-Axe, the lore goes, while many Blood Moon priestesses follow the whispers of their demons, Zyra's demons howl. Zyra's demon howls with sadistic glee, and Zyra responds in kind, united in their thirst for corruption. Zyra and her demons seek out her fellow priestesses in order to unite them all as one. Only then can they spread their destruction to the world beyond Ionia's borders. And so... Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. I just drank a Pepsi Max. So this seems to be adapting one of the core parts of Zyra, right? Like, that's Zyra's lore, insofar as she has any, is that she's this plant monster that wants to grow and spread her vines across the whole world. Like, that's sort of her impetus, that's her modus operandi, that's the thing she wants to do, is just spread her influence and her root network and her tendrils everywhere. And choke out all life on Earth. They seem to have adapted that into a vision of Zyra inside of the Blood Moon universe, where what she wants is to absorb all the other Blood Moon priestesses into her collective, and then from there on spread out and do, you know, classic world domination stuff. So let's have a look at the actual splash art. Spider-Axe didn't say who made it, so I don't know if it's in-house or if it's Kudos Productions or something like that. But okay, let's have a look at what we've got going on here. First of all, no mask. That's one of my complaints with a lot of the Blood Moon skins, like especially the for the female champions, is that Blood Moon has this really cool aesthetic where like characters wear these demon Oni masks kind of thing, and then a bunch of the female characters would have these masks, and thus like, oh no, we're not wearing the mask, we just have the mask on like the side of our head. It's a little bitty tiny mask. So like, whereas the thing of like, Riot seems to have this obsession with, oh, female characters, you have to be able to see the face. They do the same thing in fucking Project skins, right? You have to be able to see the face, because like, what's the point of a woman if you can't look at her pretty face, I guess, or whatever. There must be some fucking reason. But it always annoyed me, because like, the point of the masks is that the masks are fucking cool, and you look cool when you wear them, so why would you put the mask on the character design and then not have the character wear them? It bothers me. It annoys me a lot, because it's such, what's the point of the fucking mask then? Like, if they're not having it on their face to make them look cool and deadly and dangerous and demonic, what's the fucking point? So Zyra doesn't have a mask, and that's, if we really want to make damn sure we get her face in her character, like, then just, yeah, don't put a mask on her and do other stuff instead. And what they've done seems to be that now, rather than plant tendrils, she's doing the Bayonetta thing, and it's her hair. Oh, that's actually really fucking cool. Because like, there are demons, right, in Japanese folklore that do shit with their, like, they have their hair be sort of a part of like their demon thing. I don't know the specifics, but I think I've heard of that. So that's really fucking cool. That, oh, so her whole outfit is like just her hair flowing thing. And then presumably the plants also will be like, not real plants, but like hair constructs sort of that she spreads out. So then using hair instead of like plant. Oh, that is a clever way to reframe that. That's very good. I really like that. That is very cool. That's the Bayonetta thing. That's awesome. And that explains why she has such a prominent hairstyle, because of course it's the hair that's the thing. Okay. All right. Cool. Zyra has the same problem that a lot of female League of Legends champions do, that she doesn't have any recognizable facial features whatsoever, or any recognizable body features whatsoever. So it's like, yeah, I mean, this could be any champion. Like, you could tell me this was an Evelyn skin, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, those look like her lashers, why not? And that's not, like, there's not much the individual splash artist or character designer can do about that, because that's a problem with the fundamental character design that needs to be, like, you know, changed with a visual update. So that's a weakness, but the hair concept is... I like that. The hair concept is... That is very fucking cool. What's this thing here in the background? The hair concept is excellent. Props to that, like using her hair instead of plant fibers and shit. That is excellent. And it also... Yeah. I am missing the part of her lore, her story that's like seduction, or... Because like hair is like... Having her hair be her tendrils, like that would lend itself perfectly to some kind of sexual BDSM seduction kind of thing. Like where she envelops people with her hair and controls them, and like it's... And that would work very well with her sexualized character design if there was like an angle of seduction to it. And it would also work well with flowers, right? Like flowers, pollen. They're like sex angles you could take on that. I don't know that there is like... And this is the thing of like skin splash arts, right? Skin splash arts never have particularly well described. Like they only really have like a tweet and a half of lore, so maybe there's something else in an extended version of her that sort of incorporates the sexualization as part of the character design. But other than that, it's just like, it's also because it's Zyra. Zyra is one of the most heavily sexualized characters in League of Legends, pointlessly. See the subjectively redesigned video for Zyra for a much better take on what a consuming plant monster could be. Where like her sexualization is one of the really pointless ones in League of Legends, and that's where I was hoping like the skin would sort of go, okay, it's she uses her vials like right, she seeks out her fellow priestesses in order to unite them all as one, right? Which like, oh, okay, there's a seduction angle that Zyra sort of like seduces these other priestesses and sort of like consumes them and makes them part of herself. That's a sexualized angle, right? Like that's an angle where sexualization makes sense. It's not really spelled out, unfortunately, which is like, because there would be an opportunity there to make the sexualization work for the character rather than just be this weird thing that's sort of appended to the side of them without having any function in their narrative. Nope, hang on. But the hair thing, that's really fucking cool. That is genuinely really fucking cool as a way to replace her plant fiber thing. Because that's the other thing about Zyra, right? Whenever you do a skin for her, you have to find a way to justify the fucking plants, right? Like, the plants have to make some kind of sense for her. Which is why she doesn't get that many skins, because it's extra work trying to, like, do the modeling and rigging for, like, various versions of plant monsters for her to use on the Rift. Same thing with any character that has pets. But it's also a thing that makes it hard to come up with concepts that you can justify that aren't just, oh, now she's this kind of poison ivy, and now she's that kind of poison ivy, and now she's this kind of poison ivy, like, right? Like, where it's like, where you're not just repeating the same concept over and over again. So I really like the hair thing that's genuinely really cool. Let's take a look at what that looks like in motion. Thank you, Skin Spotlights. Okay. Yeah, that seems to work. Ooh, okay. Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit in the texture work on the plants that sort of implies fibrous hair. I don't know that I'm seeing it that much in the effects as such. But then that's always the problem, right? Like, something like this thing is made of hair, that's, visually speaking, that means it's made of, like, thousands of tiny little individual strings. That's really hard to communicate from any kind of a distance. Like, making her powers explicitly look like hair from this angle that's gonna be a challenge, and I don't know that I hold it against them if they couldn't quite do it. It works well enough. I think. Oh, right, they have the little comb. Oh, that's clever. Like, the little comb is sitting on the on the bulbs of her thing, and then that's sort of okay. I also don't know that they've really... this is the thing, like, they can't really do much to change Zyra's actual model so much. You can see there's little things they've done with the tendrils of her hair that sort of connect up to her arms, and then that sort of implies the idea that she's using her hair to fight with. And I guess that works well enough. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably as much as they could do. Without having to make a legendary skin where you really redesign her animations to emphasize her touching her hair, interacting with her hair, like moving her hair in order to do these things. And I do like the, what's that, the W, the Q, whatever it is, that one. That definitely manages the hair tendril thing better than most things. But yeah, like, oh, she does have a mask. God damn it, you were so close. You were so close. She does have a mask, but it's on the back of her head. Don't have the mask. Just, if you don't want to cover up her face, that's fine. Just don't give her the mask. Because now it's like, but she would look so much fucking cooler with the mask on then. Like, oh, come on. Did you have to? You just don't give her the mask. Frustrating. It's just one of my bugbears. Like, this is not an objective criticism of the skin. It's just, I get so annoyed by it. Ooh. Oh, that's quite good. I get so annoyed when the character has a mask, but then they don't use it. That also captures the hair tendril thing really quite well. But then it's just an accessory instead of being a thing on their fucking face, which is what let's at least let her have a toggle where she puts the mask on, then. Come on. Honestly, because I will be fair and say that the mask hanging on the back of her head as an accessory, it does do some, oh, okay, this is like a character who's two-faced, who presents a beautiful face to the world in the front of her, and then, oh, she has a demonic side hiding in her shadow on her back. Like that, there's this two-facedness to her that works with the idea of she's this Blood Moon priestess who's trying to kill the other Blood Moon priestesses, essentially, like sort of trying to betray them. That she's two-faced, that she has this demon on her back. Sure, okay, I'm willing to let that sort of be, yeah, we're okay, that's fine, that works reasonably, I suppose. But still, you just don't have the mask then. If you're not, it just annoys me. It annoys me personally. I don't like it. But yeah, no, this is shit, Zyra might have a new best skin, actually. I think, yeah, I think when I make my short, that might be the thing I say, is that Zyra has a new best skin. Because that is by far the most interesting use of her plant idea, is to turn it into hair things, right? Like, because we've had Crime City Nightmares, which turned it into, like, shadow tendrils, which, like, that's fine. I liked the redefinition there. But it's also... it also wasn't that out of left field. It wasn't that wild. Dragon, Priestess, Dragon Empress, whatever it's called, also pretty solid, turning it into worms and snakes and serpents and such. I just didn't really vibe with her character design that much. Especially because the sexualization there, again, I felt the sexualization of her character design in Dragon Empress worked against the character itself. Like, there was no seductive angle to Zyra as the Dragon Empress. There just wasn't. Like, there was no reason for her to be. It didn't do anything. It was just sort of this thing that was part of her character design without serving any function. Here, at least, there's some. Like, here, at least, there's a little bit of, like, oh, okay, she's trying to seduce and betray and consume her fellow priestesses. There's a sort of, like, lesbian murderer angle kind of thing going on. Like, there's a little bit of that, like, where it sort of makes sense a little bit. And I think, like, it conceptually makes a lot more sense to me in a character design like this to have the sexualization there, even if I still don't think it really does anything, than it does for Dragon Empress. So, shit, yeah, she might have a new best skin. I really like the hair thing. That's a really cool way to reframe her flower powers, like her abilities. I quite like that. But let's move on. Oh, right. I also, thanks to SpiderAxe, I don't use Twitter almost at all anymore. I usually just check in to, like, see, has SpiderAxe been posting any interesting, like, things about the art design? And he posted from Hylia, right? Hylia, who's I can Right Highly as the person who was responsible for the Caitlyn rework, and he also did a bunch of fan reworks of concepts for Caitlyn for years that were fantastic and really influenced the direction that the Caitlyn rework took. And he's apparently also responsible in large part because he's really heavily involved in, he's like the lead concept artist for skins, I think, over at Riot, or one of the lead concept artists. So, Blood Moon Zyra draws heavy inspiration from demonology and hair yokai such as Harionago and Futakushi Onna, who had second mouths in the back of their heads. So that's where it is. Because of second mouth in the back of the head, then we use the mask to sort of... Okay, that actually makes the mask work better. Like, I'm more willing to look past my own personal bugbear there. Like, if it's because she's that monster and she has the second mouth on the back of her head, therefore the mask is there to cover that up. Yes, okay, that's cool. That works. That works quite well. Zyra sits in her luxurious chambers, hanging kimonos and ornate folding screens, lending an air of mystery as she placidly gazes into an elegant standing mirror, gracefully brushing her hair, her face betraying no emotion. Turned to the camera, however, is the mask on the back of her head, her true face. Yeah, there we go. At the edge of the composition, we see that her locks of pre-Science-style hair are coiled around the corpses of people from the surrounding village. Red energy is being absorbed from the bodies into the mask as she feasts on every villager's souls. The blood moon shines through the window, bathing the sea. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a much better pitch, because, like, she is sitting on, like, you can see there's a corpse guy here, sort of in the background, or in the foreground, barely, kind of, vaguely visible, but the two-faced thing, like, Tom's pitch, like, Hylia's pitch for having the splash art explicitly focus on the mask as the true face, and, like, the front, that would have done the storytelling so much better. Because this one is just, here's a gorgeous, beautiful, hot hair witch lady sitting in her thing. But there's nothing here really does the storytelling for having the second face on the back of her head. Kind of thing. I guess that's what we have the mirror here, right? But it's not clear that this is a mirror to me at all in the composition. This just looks like, that doesn't look like a reflection of Zyra. That just looks like someone who was hanging out in the background of the image. I did not clock that for a mirror, even at all, even a little bit. I don't think that works in the splash art. As part of the storytelling, like, this does not clearly read as a mirror. Like, I didn't realize that until I read Hylia's description of what this was supposed to be. No, that part of the storytelling fails on a visual level. Sorry, it just does. That doesn't look like a mirror at all. I mean, it does once you know that it's a mirror, right? But if you have to be told what a thing is supposed to look like before you can see it, then you haven't done a great job of communicating that visually. But no, yeah, like, that thing of, like, she specifically is that particular kind of demon with the true face on the back of the head. That makes it a lot stronger. I'm willing to ignore my annoyance with characters not wearing the fucking mask for that concept. That's a good way to justify it. Okay. We get some original concepts also for her. Where you can see the idea of, like, having the hair be the thing that coils into the plant tendrils that she's wearing, which, like, yeah. Seriously, that is still such a good fucking idea. I'm still so... That is such a good way to redefine Zyra as a character. And, like, I like the very elaborate hairstyle that she has specifically for that purpose. Like, that... There's a lot of good in this one. Genuinely think this is Zyra's new best skin. Right, there was also someone posted... Right, Picat, who is, someone that, like, I think is, like, an independent, artist who's commissioned, Oh, I was a software engineer at the time, so... Oh, so they weren't, like, an artist... Oh, they were a software engineer who just, like, contributed. Oh, cool. Also had a concept sketch for Zyra. We're like, oh, okay, this was presumably at a different point in the process. Here she's wearing the mask on her hip. And doesn't seem to be quite as much focused on her being like a hair witch kind of thing. This is more of a... That would be more of like a regular Blood Moon conception of her. Which, like, I will say that works too. Like, the very long Bayonetta legs, like, extended by the sandals, that's quite cool. I like the idea of having one of her eyes be like a flower thing growing out. I kind of think that would have worked with the final concept also, to have like one of her eyes be blown out like that. But probably it is more sensible to stick with the whole she has a beautiful front but then a demonic back kind of thing. That's probably stronger ultimately, even if that would have been a really cool detail to have there. I wonder if Picard is one of the ones who came up with that, like that little detail for the hairstyle. Okay, moving on to Fiddlesticks. So, Fiddlesticks' lore is a demon of fear and chaos. Fiddlesticks was summoned directly into the mortal realm by Aatrox himself. He craves violence and the taste of blood, driven purely by instinct and compulsion as he tears through Ionia. Other demons follow in his wake, scavenging up what remains of his carnage. So, like, not much of a concept there. It's just Fiddlesticks is a Blood Moon demon. But then also, you know, artist is Leja Chan, who might be one of the outside commissioned. Like, Riot outsources a lot of their splash art work to like a stable of artists who work at various independent studios all around the world, and Leja Chan might be one of them. I don't know if they work for Riot specifically, as a direct hire. I mean, it looks badass as fuck. It looks cool as hell. I like the crow mask. Like that, good. Like, the little crow mask is... I very much like that as a detail. As like, oh yeah, give him a fucking crow mask. Because he's definitely not a scarecrow anymore. Like, the scarecrow bits have been pretty definitively stripped. And there are parts... Like, one of the things I really like about base Fiddlesticks is that he has this sense of being this shambolic thing that's just cobbled together from, like, random bits and bobs, right? I think that's one of the really strong parts of his character design, is that he looks like he's a scarecrow that was, like, cobbled together from random farm implements that he just sort of found lying around and used to assemble a body that could contain, like, the demon form of him that's in the cage in the chest. That's a little bit gone here. Like, that's not really what this skin is going for. This is much more of a formalized, like, he has an outfit, right? Like, he has an outfit, he has these shoulder guard things, like, with forged metal on them. That, like, I guess that makes sense if he's, like, a Blood Moon demon, kind of, but, like, I miss a little bit of that chaos here. Like, because it's there a little bit, right? Like, he still has the giant claw hand, right? Obviously. And, like, he still has his odd proportionality. I just don't know why they would give him an outfit then. Like, why give him a suit? Like, why give him a specific... If he's supposed to be this chaotic, like, uncontrollable, ravenous, like, raging hell demon from the Blood Moon or whatever, why giving him a specific outfit, giving him a uniform like this, like, giving him clothes that look, like, sewn and put together for him, tailored for him... That's control, right? Like, that's control, that's placidity, that's civilization, right? That's being civilized. Where I like, maybe something more, like, wild and ravenous and barbaric. Like, more of bird feathers, like, more of a... Yeah. I don't know that I like that choice specifically, to give him clothes in that way. I think that undercuts the concept a little bit. It looks cool. Like, it all looks very, very cool. But I think that undercuts the concept a little bit to give him, like, clothes in that way. Yeah. Don't know that I 100% like that, but let's look at it in motion. Oh, yeah. That recall fucking rules. Hang on, let's see that in slow motion, shall we? Yeah, because, like, in the model, they seem to have much more of a focus on the bird feathers rather than the clothes as, like, a defining aspect of his aesthetic. So maybe that's just the splash art that sort of has a different approach to what the character looks like. Because the chaos is definitely the way that he's pulling his mouth open. The chaos is definitely way more evident in the actual in-game character model. You can still see that he has the outfit, right? That he has the clothes on. But the way that it's rendered, like the way that that interacts with his animations, that does make him way more chaotic and freaky and weird and wild. So that looks substantially better in game than I feared. Looking at the splash art only. Yeah. Again, I think the weapon looks too civilized. Like, there's parts of him, like, where I feel he looks too civilized sometimes. Like, the weapon especially feels like that should be more of, like, a rough farming implement. Like, that should be more of, like, a rough-hewn metallic murder implement rather than this refined, beautiful, gold-edged, like, complex, finely hewn weapon. Like, that feels a little bit like that doesn't match the character otherwise. To me, honestly. Same thing with the outfit. Like, the outfit, every time the outfit sort of gets focus in his animation and the way that he's postured, it just doesn't look chaotic. I love the fucking bird feathers. I should probably frame it like that, rather. I love the wildness of the bird feathers, like that big mane of like, dark, sort of blood-stained feathers all over, like, the shoulder and over the back. Like, that shit looks cool as hell. I really, really like that. It's the outfit thing is just not working for me. Like, it doesn't really work for me that he has clothes in that way. But everything else, like, especially the bird head. The bird head looks fucking awesome. Look at that. Like, that is genuinely brilliant. Like, not a huge leap of logic. Like, Fiddlesticks is a crow demon. Give him a crow, like, bird mask head. Obvious place to go, I would say, but being obvious because it's good, like, because it's the right fucking place to go. And he looks great in motion. Like, the chaotic nature of his animations, especially the way that they render his arms and shit, like the way that he crawls across the rift, that compensates for problems with the outfit. Like that, he still looks scary, he still looks chaotic, he still looks wild, he still looks weird, he still looks freaky. So that's more of a nitpick than, like, a really strong critique of how the character design looks in motion. Still, though, like, more of that wild feathering, though. Like, I can see why the outfit is there. It's there to provide contrast, right? It's there so that he doesn't just have the wild feather shit going on. It's there so that he doesn't just look like a big furry hairball crawling around the rift. Like, it's there because, like, it provides some solidity, it provides some points of symmetry, some points of contrast. It breaks up his form a little bit to make him more visually readable. All of that makes perfect sense. I would just have framed those costume pieces as, like, scraps of red cloth he has torn off his victims, or yeah, something other than a clearly forged, prepared, carefully made, sewn, tailored outfit for him, I think, is the main criticism I have there. But no, yeah, like that's two genuine fucking banger Blood Moon skins, I will say. Like, all of those Blood Moon skins, the problem with Riot just adding more and more champions to a line is that each new champion that gets added adds less and less unique stuff to the whole of the line, to the composition of the line, right? It's just, oh, it's another one with red clothes and a mask, and Blood Moon demon thing, right? Doesn't add much. Fiddlesticks and Zyra so far both are adding something interesting and new to what Blood Moon is as a skin line. So good job on them for those. Yeah, that thing of, like, having a thing, like, draped over his neck like that, or its neck rather. Fiddlesticks doesn't. Fiddlesticks only has a gender in Star Guardian. And only kinda, like, I think it is still referred to as it, generally, but it is the corrupted form of a female Star Guardian called Harp. So Fiddlesticks in Star Guardian is technically female, is technically she, her. But I don't think it is gendered in Blood Moon. That sash over the shoulder, again, too civilized, too much of an outfit, too much clothes here. But I love the chaotic feather shit that they've got going on. Like, the chaotic feather shit is like, ooh, that is the cool shit. And I like this weapon a lot better. I like this scythe a lot better. It's still forged, but it looks more like this is something Fiddlesticks just, like, picked up off the ground. Like a thing that might have just been lying around kind of thing. It looks a little bit more rough-hewn, it looks a little bit more humble than the scythe that it ended up with in-game. So I like that better, I think. And then there's Blood Moon Zed. Blood Moon Zed, as loyalty fractures within the Blood Moon cult, Zed remains Twisted Fate's unshakable right hand and personal power broker. He trades in secrets, shadows, and blood, all while using his mastery over his demon to increase the cult's influence. What Twisted Fate doesn't know is that Zed is also searching for his lost acolyte, stolen by the Snow Moon. That would be Cain, then. Okay. Now, no splash art for this one, I don't think, not unless Skin Spotlights have it. No, we don't. So we'll just have to go by what we see. And, like, immediately, I am liking this a lot. Because that's a fucking Oni right there. Like, that's an actual... And he's wearing the fucking... I don't even know if he's wearing the mask. Is that just his face? Is that a mask? Oh, it's a mask. But there's... Oh, God. Okay. Okay, that rules. That rules. That is very cool. It is a mask, but there's no face behind it. It is his face. He can just take it off if he wants to. Holy shit, that rules. Oh, that is badass as fuck. I like that a lot. Like, this looks like a genuine, like, demon. This looks like an Oni, right? Where, again, Blood Moon at its worst is sometimes just, oh, it's just a person in some, like, Japanese-styled red clothes, right? And there's not that much to them. They just look like a person in, like, a fucking kimono or whatever. That's sort of Blood Moon at its worst. I think even Blood Moon Zillion, which is otherwise his best skin, well, used to be anyway, suffers from that. This feels a lot more like that's a fucking demon right there, right? I still, like, did it have to be gold? Like, red and gold are a good combination. Purple and gold are a good combination. Does it have to be gold all the time, Riot? Does it always have to be gold? Is there not another precious metal we could use, like copper or silver or fucking platinum, whatever? I'm tired of gold accents on champions. But this is also real fucking over the... Like, this is almost a Power Rangers villain, right? Like, with the fucking weapon, with the skull face on it, and, like, those big wings of, like, slicing blade shit. That is some Power Rangers shit right there. It's almost kind of cheesy. Like, on the one hand, yeah, he takes off his face and hands come out, but on the other hand... This also looks a lot like he's about to, like what he's doing here is he's about to grow to his supersized form, so the Rangers have to summon the Megazord. It also looks a little bit like that. And maybe the tone is a little bit... Maybe the tone is a little bit not 100% where it needs to be. Because he does, like, I think the skull face on the weapon... And also because he has the fucking shurikens on his back. Like, that have always been fucking goofy. Every Zed skin has to do something with the fucking shurikens on his back, and it always looks silly. Like, there's no way to make them look cool. Like, on his base character design, they look kind of cool a little bit. But they've always been a goofy part of his character design, I think. And the gold accents also adds to that. Like, the gold accents, again, feel so much like something a fucking Power Rangers villain would have. Where something more downplayed, something more subtle, would sort of take him away from that sort of cheesy cartoon monster thing. Like, because on the one hand, this rules. This is so fucking badass. Like, I really fucking like that he has no face under the mask. That is very, very, very good. Oh my god, that's good. But there are some things about how big and chunky his weapons are and the skull face on them and, like, the red and gold and all of that. Like, that just... The costuming around that is a little goofy. And the tone is a little bit weird. Because, like, if it's supposed to be goofy, like, if this is the one that's supposed to be way the fuck over the top, that's supposed to be like, oh no, this is where we fucking, like, we're playing on all cylinders, we're doing the goofiest, craziest, like, wildest Blood Moon demon we can think of, absolutely, that works. If he's supposed to be a Power Rangers villain kind of character design here, fair enough. But if he's not, if we're supposed to take him seriously, I'm sorry, I kind of can't. Not with the gold accents and the big glowing red shurikens on his back and the giant demon-faced, like, arm blades. I'm sorry, that's just silly. In a complimentary way. Like, again, I like it. I really like it. My criticism here is more about the tone relative to the rest of the skin line. Which I think is a little bit, like, I think they could probably have pulled back and made his weapons a little more subtle and made his colors a little bit more restrained and had him have a sense of real menace. Because this doesn't have a sense of menace. Like, I'm sorry. This isn't scary. This is badass. This is cool as hell. But it's not scary. Like, he does not look scary like this. He looks... I mean, he looks like he has an arc where he, like, betrays Rita Repulsa, is what he looks like. Like, he looks like he has arguments with Lord Zed. That's more where his character design is. And it's also partly down to the shape language of his base model, which is so, like, big and sort of chunky and bulky. And they've really leaned into making him, like, hella shredded and muscular here, like, real big and sort of inflated with power, both in like his physicality, like the physicality of his body, and in the way that the costume on him is like bulging out and poking out and like really emphasizing those. But the effects, as always, look fucking amazing. I love the mask, faceless mask thing under the mask. I like the white hair. I don't 100% know if the tone is good. Like, I think the tone is a little bit weird. Does he take off the mask for the death animation? No. I would very much like this skin to have a trigger where you can take his mask off and, like, have little hands grasping out of his head. That would be extremely fucking cool. Oh no, that chroma looks terrible. What the hell were they doing with that one? Green and yellow hair? He looks like a Namekian who's gone Super Saiyan. What the hell? But yeah, it's the gold accents. It's the skull face on the thing. It's just a little too goofy. I'm sorry. It just doesn't quite work for me. Like, maybe the splash art will sort of present him in a way that makes him look more menacing and scary, but the in-game model just kind of... Like, tell me that's not a tokusatsu villain. Tell me that that's not someone who, like, shows up and does a pose and then, like, an explosion goes off behind him in the quarry where they're recording the scene. Like, tell me. You can't tell me that, because it's like, come on. Like, come on. He's gonna do kickflips over a bunch of people in costumes while going, "Hiya! Whoa! Ha!" Like, that's just gonna happen. It is a really cool design, but it's cool in a way that's cool to 13-year-old boys. Which is compliment. Is again, it's a compliment. It's just a tone problem. Still, like, that solid crop, I will say, of oh, that's my next reaction video. Solid crop of Blood Moon skins this time. Like, props to Riot, props to the artists. They did Zyra with the hair is genuinely inspired. Like, that is... Ooh, that rules. I really, really like that. Fiddlesticks generally, like, with the crow mask and everything, looks great. My only thing about him is, like, I don't think he should wear tailored clothes. And, like, the scythe looks too good. Like, it looks too much like a carefully crafted weapon for a chaos demon who's, like, ravenously destroying everything around him. And for Zed, it's more a thing of, like, everything about Zed, like, I need to re-emphasize this. Everything about this works perfectly in context with itself. In context with itself, this is so fucking cool and fun. I love the taking mask off. I love that he looks like a tokusatsu villain. I love that he looks a little silly and goofy. I love that. It's just in the context of the rest of Blood Moon, I don't know if the tone is all there for that, because the rest of Blood Moon is not that goofy. But yeah, that's a fucking solid crop of Blood Moon skins. I really like these. Good job, right? Like, you have taken a very bloated skin line and you have added something to it that actually feels kind of cool and new. I wish that would happen more often, but props to the artists, props to the concept artists and like the story people behind it. That good job. Anyway, bye.